We're going to talk about another business analyst technique called butterfly forces, right? And this is a very important technique for you to also position yourself for profitability as we walk through some of the strategic tools that you can use. So this is a framework that helps business analysts to understand their competitive environment and make informed strategic decisions. Whenever you're thinking about any project, as you walk through some of your organizational strategy, you need to think about things like, what are the threats of new entry, right? New entrant. So how easy is it for other business or competitors to start another product or services in your space? You also need to think about the supplier's power. What power does supplier have? Right, so maybe you're relying on a supplier to produce or supply some goods or services to you, and maybe it is a very highly sought after kind of product sources. How easy do the supplier detect a lot of things? Do you have a lot of options? You need to think about that. You also need to think about buyer's power. Now, if you're selling, like if you're running a supermarket, for example, most likely the buyer will have power, to choose different, options, because again, you will not be the only one, the only supermarket in that environment. They'll probably have some small, large, medium supermarket. So in that case, buyers have power to choose, right? You also need to think about threat of substitution. Again, very similar to buyer's power. But you need to ask yourself, like, how easy would it be for our customer to replace us, right? Replace our business. Again, you need to think about this carefully. Your strategic decision always have to be tuned into the fact that, can they replace us? Can customer actually go and look for other options easily, right? And then the fifth factor here is competitive rivalry. So do you have a lot of heated competition in this space that can easily blow you over if you're not on top of your game? What are you doing about it? So butterfly forces helps us think deeply, as we make decisions. So when we talk about threat of new entrant, more specifically, we're talking about, how much will it take? What is the cost of entry, right? So maybe you are selling, again, supermarket, for example. It won't take a lot of time and effort to start a supermarket. Well, it might not be as big as yours, but it is a fairly easy industry to get in. Just get this tool. You can even start with 4 or 5 products and you're in. So that's what we're saying. How easy is it for other competitors to start, or newcomers to start this business? Do you have any specialist knowledge that is just your own intellectual property, that what is, like, this is our own unique selling point, right? Is there economy of scale? For example, big supermarket store will have economy of scale because they can buy things in bulk. Now you can think about Costco, for example. So Costco does that a lot, although there are a lot of supermarkets, but they have power to buy in bulk and sell for cheaper. Do you have any cost advantages, right? So if, again, Costco is cheaper, then they will get more customers. Technology protection. How are you running your business? Are you leveraging technology, right? What are the barriers to entry? So some of these factors you need to consider as you make your decision. Going to the buyer's power, we need to think about it. Like, how many customer, like total addressable customer, how many customer can we ideally serve? I'm assuming that 100% customer would come to you for this product or service. How many are they in total? How much? What is the size of their order? Like, how much will they buy from you, right, per time? Yeah. What is the difference between you and competitors? You need to think about that. Price sensitivity. These guys that are buying, do they care a lot about pricing? Right? So you can't easily jack up your price, because again they will quickly replace you. So you need to think about how sensitive are these buyers to price. How are you able to position yourself in a way that you are not going to be substituted? So pretty much, can these buyers substitute you easily? Right? What's the cost of changing? So for example, maybe you have some buyers locked into your service, but is it easy to change you? Typically, maybe gym, you're operating a gym chain and you operate a subscription base, but there are several gyms in the local your environment. But the buyer can actually change their mind and go with other competitors, right? So let's talk about threat of substitution. Again, ties very closely to buyer's power, right? So what is the cost of change, right? You can see substitute performance. So this product or services that they are going to that they might consider, what is the performance like? Like I gave example of a gym. So a gym is a gym. So you need to do extra, make sure your customer service, all of those things are on point, so they would build a relationship with you, so you can keep them, because it's easy to just change gyms, right? So we talk about suppliers power, and we talk about number of suppliers, right? So how many people actually supply you, or option? Do you also have option? Can you buy your critical raw material from different suppliers, or it's just one? Right? Like currently today, Nvidia supplies chip, and they are the biggest player there. So they have suppliers power. People that want to build GPUs or run GPUs, they need Nvidia, right? At this point in time. So suppliers power is important. The number of suppliers, the size of the suppliers, uniqueness of the service. I just gave an example of chip. Not everybody can start a chip company. Tying back to threat of entry, you can't just start a chip company. It's very difficult to do. You need specialist knowledge to do that. Your ability to substitute, again, because if you are an AI company and you want to build GPUs and all of that, you need Nvidia to provide those chips to you. So you can't easily substitute at this point in time, right? Because they are still the biggest player, have the biggest capabilities at this time. If you even think about changing, so what is the cost of changing? It might be difficult for you to change, using that same example. Changing Nvidia will be difficult for you, because there are not a lot of options there doing the kind of work that Nvidia is doing, right? So we will now talk about competitive rivalry. So here it's very clear. It's about what are the number of competitors do we have? Giving the same analogy with Nvidia, they don't have a lot. They have AMD, they have new competitors that want to get into the space, but Nvidia is way ahead. They have that capability at this point in time. So to compete with them will be difficult. They are ahead of the game, right? So quality difference, again, for you to start, you need to first of all beat Nvidia, in terms of quality, price, knowledge, support. So it's a lot, right? Are there other differences? Switching costs, customer loyalty. Sometimes for businesses or organizations that have a lot of competition, you need to start to think about what are the quality differences that will help us position. What is the switching cost, right? What is customer loyalty plan that we put in place so people stay with us, right? So like insurance companies, they put that a lot. Like if you're with us, we can kind of drop some dollars in your insurance premium, and it makes a difference. They're building that loyalty with you, right? So you need to think about all of these factors as you try to understand your business environment. is really critical.